Okay, hi everybody. This is Leonid and Gerd from Feldera, and in this video we're gonna go over the demo of this blog post about building a continuous analytics pipeline with Feldera and Redpanda. And so we're gonna show you the steps. And so the first step is to actually bring up the Docker containers for Feldera and Redpanda, and you can use this Docker compose file here by copying this command. So I'll execute it, which will bring up the containers. And so we're just waiting for it to start up. And once it will be started, we can go to the Feldera web console, which I can open here. And so now we see the web console is up and running. And the first step in this demo is to actually create a SQL program. So I opened the SQL program, which in our demo container we already created for you. And so now maybe Leonid, you can talk us through what's going on here in this SQL code.
Sure. So the first thing we do in SQL is we declare the inputs to our program as SQL tables. So we have 3 tables here: vendors, parts, and prices. And then the next thing we need to do is to define some queries or views on top of these tables. We have a couple of views here. The first view is called low price, and it computes the lowest available price for each product in the database. And the second view is called preferred vendor, and it computes vendors that offer lowest prices for each part in the database. These are very basic SQL queries. They just do some joins and aggregations. But one interesting part here is that our preferred vendor view is built on top of the low price view. And that illustrates how you can create complex analytical pipelines by defining views on top of existing queries. So in order to run this program, we need to build a pipeline around it. So in the center of our pipeline is our SQL program we just wrote. So you can see our input tables on the left and the views on the right. So to run the program, we need to connect some input sources to each of our input tables. In this case, we're going to connect some input sources that are connected to an S3 bucket, where we put some test data for this use case. And then, in addition to this, we are going to feed real-time data about price changes into our price view from a Red Panda topic. And you can see that we configure this with a group ID and the topic name. And if you click on the Format tab, it says that we're going to feed JSON data into this topic. So now we have our pipeline, and we can run it. So as soon as we're starting the pipeline, it is going to consume existing data from our S3 buckets, and you can see this data in our input tables. So there are only a few records here. And the pipeline also computed its output views. So you can also see the contents of the views here. Now, let's also show some real-time streaming. So if you remember, this pipeline consumes one of its inputs from a Red Panda topic. So we are going to send some data to this topic and see how the pipeline updates its output views. So you're going to insert and delete some records in the price table. And as you can see, Feldera instantly computed updates to our output views, and we can now see a different set of preferred vendors in our database. Now, let's look back at the structure of our pipeline. You may notice here that we also connected one of the output views to another Red Panda topic. And that means that we can read our stream of output changes to the view from this topic. We're going to use the Red Panda CLI client for that again. Right, so you can see some inserts and deletes here, which reflects how the contents of the view was updating as we fed more data into the pipeline.